a hard-working president. The kind of day it's for Mama Salon. Me support for you, no based on tribal. I support you for waiting you don't do for Mama Salon. I know deaf, I know black. I dey see a macolo with me on high. So we go put you back for continue you go home. So Salon go smile. Oh, Smadavio. Unale we vote for Madavio. For better Salon. Talk and do it, don't run for it. Victory, SFP. We say victory, SFP. Now the only way out. Where Madavio don't do. The most one, where really close me. Now the free quality education. Free education is not a privilege. President, you don't make it possible. Whether rich or poor, you go down and book planning are the answer for.
Yes, followers, welcome again to SL News Vlog. I want to come stream Charles Margai in statement fully. Let everybody listen and Andrew Lavalie. And now actually own copyright to 98.1 them content. What they do them for life just help for let the message go viral, you know. Now on that basis, I they do this. For I just make the thing go viral. But before we go there, let me get this message first. As we plan for re-elect President Julius Maada Bio and Honorable Vice President Mohamed Julde Jallow, the ECSL Sierra Leone don't pull a sample of how the ballot paper get for look like. It get for be very easy for see President Bio and vote for him so that it will continue the good work for Salon. Look na the ballot paper and watch for the party where they second, where they number 2. Put your finger na the ink and rub am safu na the number 2 party wey na SLPP. Other way they for vote with pen because not everybody can want use ink for do the ballot. If you dey use the pen, you get for understand one thing say, you know for write your name per the ballot paper because if you write your name, you don't void that vote. Use the pen, come safu. Watch na the number 2 party wey na SLPP. Tick am safu. Make sure say the tick for just dey within that box there. No rubber other side. If you do that one day also na void. This message come off from Julius Magona, the CEO of SL News Blog. For enhanced food security in a Salon, make we re-elect President Julius Maada Bio.
Don't run for victory, SFP. We say victory, SFP. Now the only way out.
Fellow Sierra Leoneans, this is a message from the Electoral Commission for Sierra Leone that will help you with the steps for accurate voting. Step 1. Go to the polling station and peacefully join the queue. Step 2. Present your voter registration card to the queue controller to confirm that you are in the right polling station. Step 3. Wait until your voter registration card is requested for verification. Your fingers will also be checked to ensure that you have not voted before. When it is confirmed that your card is valid and your name is on the polling station's register, you will then be given 2 ballot papers for the national elections, that is the presidential and parliamentary election. Step 4. You will now be directed to stand behind an empty screen or booth to mark your ballot papers with either a pen or your thumbprint and then cast your vote. Step 5. You will be given another set of 2 ballot papers for the local council elections, which is for mayoral or district chairperson and councillors. You will then follow the same procedures on step 4. Remember, the proportional representation system, the PR system, is used only for the parliamentary and councillor elections, where you vote for the symbol of the political party or the symbol of the independent candidate of your choice. You vote for the symbol and not the person. Step 6. After casting your ballots, your thumb or finger will be marked with indelible ink to prevent you from voting twice on that same day. Inking your finger before leaving the polling station is a legal requirement for every voter. The police will be called to deal with any voter refusing to have their finger inked. This message is sponsored by the United Nations Development Programme.
Yes, followers. Before we come stream Charles Margai in interview, I be don't get this story here. We happen at Kono. Dr. Sylvia Blyden make a write up on them. You know, say Diana Konomani, I think in house, then touch in house, and Sylvia Blyden write something. Let's just read them. Let's just read some paragraphs and can stream that video there. It says jihadist trend is too crystal clear. APC strongwoman and former cabinet minister Madam Diana Konomani refused to show up or participate in the launch of the APC party campaign in Kono on Monday, May 29th. In the night of Tuesday, May 30, her house in Kono was burned down to the ground in a despicable act of criminal arson. Her refusal to join the APC to campaign in Kono follows a series of despicable abuses and even vile mimicry on her late mother by Adebayo, ventriloquist puppet of former President Ernest Bai Koroma, in recent weeks. Adebayo not only abused the late mother of Diana Konomani, but just last week, Adebayo also gave instructions that houses of members of the APC who don't support their faction of our APC party should be set on fire. Their faction is led by Ernest Bai Koroma and is named jihadist ever since Koroma threatened to wage a jihad against those APC members who go against what he wants for the APC. Adebayo has been threatening harm and burning of houses of key APC members for several months now. However, the threat to burn down APC houses which he made last week was very specific on those APC members he had recently freshly identified, including Diana Konomani. The most recent threat to burn down our houses was made last week. So this week, on the day immediately after Diana Konomani refused to join the jihadist-led APC to campaign in Kono, a very beautiful house in Kono has been set on fire yesterday, May 30th, 2023. Let's just stop a bit and tell Una, please share this link. This statement is very important because after they allegedly don't commit this crime, then can pull audio, they make like say na SLPP one. So now they get them from die-hard former cabinet minister of the APC. Now in they make this statement for let the whole world know. Yeah? Wanna share the link so others go follow. Let's continue the read. This Adebayo, who regularly makes the threat and fulfill them,
starting with the burning down of Susan's Bay community 3 years ago, has been repeatedly glorified with no remorse by key figures in the Anes by Kuruma-led jihadist faction of the APC. Can this country continue to turn a blind eye to the elephant in the room amongst us? How many more lives and how many more houses should be lost on the instruction of Adebayo, who is the ventriloquist puppet of former President Anes by Kuruma? Do people really believe that Adebayo is one man show out in Holland? The trend of the jihadists starting from burning down of Susan's Bay and now on burning down Diana Konomani's house is just a crystal clear to be denied. May God open all the eyes that are too spiritually close to see the crystal clear trend. That is Dr. Sylvia Blyden. We all know, say, they burn down Diana Konomani in house, which is very terrible. Waiting democracy come for. Democracy no means in a one side or waiting a specific group mean and everybody for follow. We therefore allow democracy for play because the opposition, some folks them within they accuse the current administration for lack of democracy. Why even inside una own party, we are not ready for practice democracy. You must get people and we go become aggrieved. And you know go make them more aggrieved. Now barely the bellems for make them see reasons. So that on my host, just because that day when Galina Econo, the turnout was very poor, many APC stakeholders on that particular axis not show up, which is very, very sad. Well, let me continue with Charles Francis Margai in interview na 98.1. Just like I tell you now, I'm not fully get right over 98.1 the content. I do this for let just people and for let just help for spread them. And the one that we not be get chance for listening today, una can either go na 98.1 them page, una listen, or you go listen from here directly.
So you don't make mention of you what you do in for bringing the APC.
We've been give support to APC, and that make APC be informed government. In 2018, we give similar support to SLPP, now make the informed government. But we don't look at the stage and see, say, yes, it's fine for be a kingmaker. But if things not they go right, I think, say, you where they make the king, you say for where the king includes, and see if you can move the nation forward.
So you don't make mention of you what you do in for bringing the APC na power, the SLPP also na power, and you don't decide say not for just be a king, but not kingmaker, but now you self want to be the king. And how you want to be king?
Thank you very much. One common mistake, as I've been talk to my brother Andrew, where most radio stations, if not all, they make. I not go call them misinformation. I go call them disinformation because there is a subtle difference between misinformation and disinformation. Then they give the impression, say, now only two political parties in this country, APC and SLPP, are not true. There are 17 registered political parties, 13 of which ECSL give the green light for contest this election. Me don't analyze the 13 candidates then. It seems to me that not only 3 main presidential candidates people then for take seriously, namely PMDC, when I mean the aspirant, APC with Dr. Samura Kamara, na the aspirant, and SLPP, President Julius Maada Bio, na the aspirant. You see, the mistake where we, the opposition parties, them make, before them in prorogue Parliament or before the Parliament dissolve, we been for amend a particular section of the Constitution we give a president the right for continue even when in term done. The reason being that, as una can see in the case of mayors, chairpersons of local councils, 3 months to the elections, then tell them for step down and hand over to other people then. The reason for that is that they want to create a level playing field. Now, with President Bio still in the chair as president, they use state apparatus such as money, vehicles, security forces to an advantage where enough for be. But I'm sure when PMDC take over by the grace of the Almighty, come 2024, we go rectify the errors then day. Now, who that na Charles Francis Margai? Charles Francis Kundu Margai na a lawyer, cum politician. I don't practice law for 51 years, and I believe say na me na the most senior lawyer where they practice now, where they are alive. And me na the oldest politician at Sierra Leone, not in terms of age, Sierra Leone. If we get discipline, believe you me, the sky is the limit. Uda na Dr. Samura Kamara. Dr. Samura Kamara, to me, na a gentleman. Honestly, when I see Dr. Samura in politics, I can say, no, this man, he don't miss the road. Because he's so much of a gentleman that politics are nothing saying in calling. But unfortunately, we all don't find ourselves in politics, so be it. Udat na Mada, Julius Mada Bio. Mada Bio go board school and left board school in 1984-85 school year. He enlisted at the army in 1987. In first postings, na bin Lunge garrison. Later, he go Cambia district as part of the Economic Emergency Unit, where APC under the then President Momo be established. He became a platoon commander in 1988 at Benguima Training Center. Now been part of what they call Leon Bat 2 contingent, we take part in the civil war in Liberia. Right. When the war intensified, they withdraw that battalion there, then come back, then call them the Elite Glido Battalion. Later, then disintegrate, and then he go Daru Barracks, go join the Tiger Battalion. He remained na Daru until the 1992 coup. Now been the liaison officer during the NPRC regime.
All right.
No, it's fine for make them know the background, because as politicians, we get to be open to the people. Make them know who done and then leader them.
All right, so I'll come to the PMDC and go back to, so you begin mention about this information where you say seem for don't they happen because some media house on the projects like not just 3 political parties then where they contest the election.
Yes.
We bring me back to concern where the public itself don't they raise again, but the other political party them, how much they don't do for make themselves relevant for let people and know see. Then let we look at the PMDC, for example, since 2018, the last election, so this one way Salon de Council, June 24. What in PMDC be done they do from 2018 to now?
PMDC been done day in existence from 2006 up to this moment and of relevance.
How?
You know, not to the one that where they go na cutting tree, where they go hala hala. Oh, we are politicians, now they matter. Some of us believe in tacit approach. Like a miso now, I borrow a leaf from the late Dr. John Carifa Smart, because I convinced say door-to-door campaigning much more effective than when you go team up na cotton tree. 300 people then gather. Perhaps out of that 300, 150 to 200 not to even members of your party. They're not even registered for vote. So not to say because we not be the yangi, we know they. Some people they say PMDC be don't die, but we don't know say when die man wake up. If they say person we will all be done sabi, he don't die. Like go sit down at this room. That door open, we see and waiting with the world they run not so. In other words, the demand they become fearful.
So what's the current strength of your membership na PMDC?
Well, that one day me not go able to give you the strength. Not to say I not sabiam, but I know they give you the strength. After the elections, now you said go take telephone, you phone me. You say yes, congratulations, sir. Indeed, we not get strength.
So let we also look at waiting the PMDC get for Sierra Leoneans them. We don't see the two, even though you say not to two political parties them, but like when you take parliament, no remember when last the PMDC gets representation at parliament.
Good.
But they don't they ask for manifestos of political parties. And the last 2 weeks we don't they see the two SLPP and APC don't pull a manifesto telling Sierra Leoneans what they get for them.
Good.
In your own case, the PMDC, what do you have for the people of Sierra Leone?
And they can't tell you in a minute, but one serious issue they we don't touch, where I think say I need for clarify. How many people we don't get in a parliament? You remember in 2007, the elections, PMDC been win 37 parliamentary seats. Nyale when I been the neck officer at the Eastern Province, na mean robbery of 27. Mina nine been the with the Mina of blessed memory, nine na been the neck officer na the South. We got 10 parliamentary seats. Now we APC been qualified for the runoff. But then SLPP a later get for no say they may go bribe them way. Now each of the offices them we been get for do with elections for make they not make we qualify, make them
you
qualify
get evidence?
with APC. Yes. Ask me wherefore you know very well. John Benjamin been go to win a house. I raised that issue which he saying go charge na Tailiana mawa mutimua. If you na mende, it means yes, there is some truth in it, but that is now history. We shall come and apologize. So having addressed that one, I want to tell you now say I don't read the manifesto of SLPP. I don't read the manifesto of APC. I think SLPP get 5 pillars, APC get 10 pillars. PMDC, I don't give you a copy of the manifesto. When I miss self write them, na 12 pillar manifesto. Where I go address na ya 12. I'll give you a copy before we go. Okay? Now, before I go further, I want for debunk 2 important issues where the public they ask. One, wetin make them sack me as Attorney General and Minister of Justice.
We before get cancelled and they but we don't spill now.
No, wetin they happen. I want for approach this whole thing sequentially.
Okay.
You know, me not only a trained lawyer, but me the most experienced lawyer in Sierra Leone today. Many people then go say, but Mr. Margai, why you been jagged in your presentation? But since now we're under control, I'm ready to go along with you.
You can go ahead, sir.
Good, thank you. Now, 2 things. One, people then ask, why make President Bio sack me? Constitutionally speaking, President Bio get the right for hire and fire. But now I go recall, say, even as I sit here, one day President Bio not go on radio, explain to the nation why make he sack me. When President Bio bin want support, he and Kanja go to me in a house. Anytime they call me wife as witness. We sit down, he want grab go hold me foot, for ask me for support. I say that is primitive. Go sit down. I know what you're there for. We don't decide for give you an opportunity, which we did. And I no regret.
That's been in 2018?
2018 years.
Okay.
Now, me, not going able to tell you, Asma or Mabel, why President Bill sacked me. I no more go able to tell the nation. But waiting me feel say lead to me sacking now, they tell you. One, as Attorney General and Minister of Justice, an office where I hope say when I become president, we will divide for very good reasons. So that the Attorney General will be independent, he not go afraid for prosecute ministers, and even the president, if it comes to it, notwithstanding the immunity where the president get. But if he breached the Constitution, he could be impeached and prosecuted. Now that people they don't know in this country.
So how that's connected to Yusakwan?
Misakwan, as Attorney General and Minister of Justice, he been supposed for the refer legal matters to me for advice. Now the first tender and they are see, President appoint a minister when he don't take the oath. When I pull me hand for make we shake hands, he draw a hand behind. Me wife observe him, other people they observe him.
Why?
Patuna ask him. But I knew that they no,
Oh.
I go bitter. If you recall Asma, in the early 90s, when we they move from military rule to democracy, now me single-handedly reorganize the SLPP. We all man the free for camp, even Salia. Now me same plane for SB Mara, when I've been the vice president of SLPP in the north, that is Kabbalah. I sent for Michael Kalon, when I've been the vice president Eastern region. I sent for Baba Sila, the vice president Western area. Now me rebuild SLPP.
All right.
So why should I hate them?
Okay.
Now the way then they play the politics now I don't agree with. But me no they hate anybody.
We'll catch up on that later. But earlier I asked you about your manifesto, which you make
I
mention.
can't to the manifesto.
Which you make mention of 12 A as them.
Pillars, yes.
Pillars. The Salon People's Party get 5 and the APC gets 10. So let me know what today inside the
Yeah,
manifesto.
but you don't allow me make her finish this. I'm going to cut it short. But make her not just hang things the people of Sierra Leone get for no. So me, as minister, as Attorney General, I write to the president. I say, Mr. President, I say you don't appoint 9 people then at the cabinet we constitutionally not qualified, but deliberately I not name them. I say then they breach section 76, 1B of the Constitution, which is 76 1B say, if you don't get appointment, before you take up that appointment, if you dey work for government and you dey receive remuneration from the consolidated fund or monies voted by parliament, you get for resign 12 months. We me no agree with, but now the law. I believe say if you as teacher, even with your salary, they find it difficult for survive. Then you go sit down for 12 months. Waiting go happen at your home. Your wife go left you. Section 171, subsection 3 and 4, they tell you who that na public officer. So now the same thing affect this man Kone with the ECSL now. He's not qualified.
Why you say so?
Because now being government officer, he dey receive in salary from the consolidated fund, and he not been done resign 12 months at the time where them be appoint him. But that is something else which the Supreme Court will have to deliberate upon. Let's move forward. Now, since I write President that letter, he not respond. And number 2, I tell and say the appointment of this man which in the past make like say it's a big book pass everybody, Professor David Francis. Me feel say I tell Francis, say, I say, well, David, I say this subject what you do, I say na subject when a fallback subject, when you want to go university, you not get the qualification for going to any of the institutions and they fall back on peace and conflict. I say na woman subject that one day. So now can't begin to make nonsense now ask you to see it's a book.
Mr.
So
Margai.
wait, please. So I tell President.
We no go get to Dr. Francis for respond
no, you go call
na the
am,
medium with regards the
No,
allegation
call am.
where you they make
Call
on
am.
waiting.
No, I dey tell you why
Yes.
waiting lead to me sacking. Ask my
We want for
No, I
listen.
dey connect am. Me na experienced lawyer. I dey connect am. Give me time. I no dey waste your time. So I tell am say, under the constitution, we bin don forget, but chief minister, as Andrew Yago tell una, since 1960 something, or in the early 70s, 72.
Right.
I say when you look at the constitution, wetin dey there, na president and vice president, nothing no dey but chief minister. I say, so if you go appoint this man chief minister, you dey breach the constitution for which
So now all
you
anything and then you think say make the
not
president
to
sack
that.
you?
After that now, Dr. Professor Francis, the then speaker, Abbas Bundu, and others, they meet na Kona Lodge, King Street. Then say make them go make representation to Mr. President, say me not to team player. I don't know, but I think now all that contribute. And above that, I tell the judges and say, as Attorney General and Minister of Justice, when term don't retire, when you 65 as per the Constitution, and not they give anybody 1 day.
So
I
how-
say because then go let the law, then go interpret the law for please the powers that be, simply because they want for sit down as judge.
So how about the allegation we say you drive the Terwin Attorney General?
I drive?
You at the camp. I mean, you drive go McKinney and get meeting with the former president whilst you be Attorney General. And in that meeting, also allegation be there of you receiving money from.
You know,
from
when
the
I
former
tell
president.
Ernest by Kuruma, I say na so they say, oh, na laugh, he laugh. He say even for go on radio and debunk him. He say, but since he not come from the president, he not dey wasting time.
What's
After
that
the
true?
elections, Asma, I not cross Waterloo for 1.5 years. And besides, that me lot na Aberdeen, where former president in West, be make them go destroy me fence, take all my building materials, will be meet me and honest. He agree for compensate me.
Along that same period, eh?
Yeah. No, before the elections.
Okay.
You know? So he agreed for compensate me. Up to now, he not compensate me yet. And the amount now about $250,000. So me go left here go for $15,000. Boy, I big pass that hand.
All right. Well, when we come back, stay with me. We go look at the manifesto, the 12 pillars where you get for Sierra Leonean STEM as we go into the June 24th election. The program, na Good Morning Salon, and it come to you from 98.1 FM. We will come over now to Andrew Lavalie, maybe.
All right, so we continue the program and come to the other studio guests. We're in Andrew Lavalie there this morning for can tell people about the Sierra Pool survey reports. We then just don't pull where they show the projections and where they don't forecast, but how the electoral map sound like for the June 24 elections. Good morning once more and welcome to the program again.
Good morning, Mabel. Good morning, listeners.
Well, we've been on the get Andrew in and out of the studio for some time now, but you don't say you not on the come. But today we want for level to this Sierra Pool report. When are the latest one we on a don't pull we now the forecast of the electoral map for the June 2023 elections. We actually go for happen on the 24th of June. Before we can know about waiting on our fair not exactly, just take the listeners and viewers in our Facebook through the methodology we want to use for do the survey.
Thank you very much. And before I just say that, I just say thank you very much when I make arts. You know, in our studio today with the revered Charles Margai. I remember we would go school. We can almost the class just for go see how they debate. In fact, if we not be take time, some of people don't pull in a school self. So thank you very much. I can get an opportunity for sit down by you today. Clearly, Sarah Paul, you know, say we election they come, people like invest money per election, and if you don't take time, you don't invest money till then say you lost. We lost. So then that can make some man they have to warm self. So and the electoral system, the electoral institutions, then there is some suspicion. There can be suspicion about it. So this country will not get opinion polling. If you go to advanced democracies, then go to a call opinion poll. And that opinion poll day is so scientific, it's so credible, that too often when they can call the results, and the result are not too far from the opinion poll. So opinion poll can get what we call margin of error. If I talk say today this now 20% this policy they get, it can get maybe 18% or it can get 22%. Then it within 2% margin of error. So I'm glad we asked me about the methodology. So we actually take the National Electoral Commission, ECSL, the Electoral Commission Sierra Leone, then sample the voter registration centers, the VRCs. You know, say voter registration center, now they Sierra Leoneans then get for votes. NEC get 3,360 VRCs then. So we go to a call randomization. We randomly select 245 of them. So that 9 days we sample. Maybe people can wonder what they call sample. Sample or sampling, it really technical, but for breaking down, now like way they cook soup. For taste that soup day, well, for let you know whether soup salt pass mark or salt not do, you know they drink the whole bowl soup. You just take small no more, you taste some. But for let that soup day, the taste be all side, you get for stir, you get for mix them. So what you can do in sampling, before they even do the sampling, we get what we call randomization. So we randomly select from that 3,600, 260 people, voter registration centers, we randomly select the first stage, and for randomly select 245. Out of that 245, we randomly select, inside any VRC, we randomly select 10 households out of that 245. So it means that 2,450 Sierra Leoneans they will target. So like for example, people like talk say, no, that sample size is small. Out of 3,400,000 and something voters, how you go just talk to 2,400 people then? They talk say, no, that day not the opinion that one day. So it's actually randomization. So for example, if you let people know about how IGR day or how radio democracy day, if you randomly talk to radio listeners or people where they read IGR the reports, you talk to 500 of them, it can give you a scope for saying, no, now so people in the field. You don't need to talk to anybody. So now the first thing that they were sampling. The second thing we ensure say the survey spread across. So if you don't take 245 polling centers, the survey spread across. And then what you call proportional, a big word, proportionality by size. So that means say district like Bond, where big past Freetown, you're not going to interview the same number of people like how they interview Freetown. So it means where you look at the size of Freetown, they get a larger sample than Bo, they get a larger sample than Bond. So now so it is spread right across. In the end, we enumerators they all train within the Gona field, then they actually carry machine. So na machine-based data collection. So if they can host Mabel, the first thing when they ask, how many people in there? We're not adults then. We don't register for votes. That they name all the kind inside the machine. The machine and they talk to asthma. Not to the enumerator they select, not to me they select. Even instead not to him they select.
Okay.
In fact, so we get a GPS system. If that enumerator they will tell and say, go Bond. The sample tell and say, go Bond. You not go Bond, you go sit under the tree, feel them. We they know. Like in America, they know inside the GPS system. So we know they get discretion, the enumerator know they get discretion. And the sampling we will do, the methodology we will do, you do this survey 100 times within that same period. And not talk say within a different period though, because in campaign period, people their opinion they change. But within that same period, between the 20th to the 26th of May, now the same result they get.
This latest poll owner do, Sierra poll, where IGR do, zoom in on the June 2023 elections, a forecast of the electoral map of Sierra Leone, and also on zoom in on the seats, now the council where the parliament, where the outcome of the elections. Take we through, Dandy.
Thank you very much, Asman. So we we take all of the list where political parties and not submit, the one that will get access to, of course, all of the list that will pay for different political parties then. Because Sierra Leone now a proportional representation system now they can implement. And within that they means the magic number now is 11.9. So if only way you get 11.9 at a district, because they call it district block, now you go qualify for sit down at the table for share the seats there. So then the survey force, now which party or which independent candidate they get 11.9% at any district. So for example, if you start with a district with them Bo gets 12 seats. When we do the survey, the APC get 10% na Bo, all other parties then get around 1%, then SLPP get 88% in Bo. So it's difficult, but the campaign get for go. Maybe something APC go move from 10% to 12%, we will make it get 11.9%, we will make it get 1 seat. So in we estimation, APC go get between 0 seats to 1 seat inside Bo. You can't, so we do district by district. If you come to Bombali, APC get 89%, SLPP get 9% in the survey. So it means if SLPP campaign say maybe they will get a chance or opportunity for get 1 seat. So SLPP is projected to get between 0 to 1 seat. Because Bombali gets 8 seats, it's possible say APC will get between 7 or clear all the seats then. So when we take the survey for look at the list for forecast one after another. So we focus for local councils, we focus for parliament, and we focus for women, then the amount of women that they can at parliament, and we focus back for the current MP, then the one that we don't just come out. How many of them we expect say them for that they come back to parliament? The result we'll get, we don't list everything. The first result we'll get now that overall, with the project say for parliament, the next parliament, SLPP will get between 53% to 59%. APC will get between 37% to 46%. NGC will get between 0.7% to 1.5%. There is a reason for that. You see say, if you take this current map, you compare it to the 2002 proportional representation map, you see say SLPP as a party, it compete well under PR system than first past the post system. Because if you can't place like Freetown, it will get like 30-35%. Under first past the post, so say it gets it, but under PR system, we are short of getting 30-35% of the seat. It's the same in Falaba, it's the same in Kabbalah, it's the same in Cambia. So you see say the PR system, it make the ruling party, it get a lot of seats then across the country.
Before you go to your next, you for continue for talk. In UDC you pull like who starts for talk with Mr. Margai, we say not to just name party then they in all this sampling we just see APC, SLPP and NGC. But there are other political parties, registered political parties. Why not then here?
Well, now the one that we statistically will get numbers, we like you see say even for NGC, not only in Cambia.
Okay. We
know it's been happen for the past 1 month now. The party then, see after in every election since 2002, SLPP and APC, they always get around 84-85% of the total vote since 2002. Now, in 2007, 9 PMDC actually dislodged SLPP in the south. It took almost 4 or 5 of the 7 districts then. They actually get big presence. Since that time, the way down there happened, SLPP, APC, in every election, where people they talk say, you get other political parties there. Not that people they no one for consider other political parties. But Sierra Leone, the kind electoral system we'll get, it's almost like a de facto 2-party system. Right. Nine we get, yes, maybe.
All right, continue for the week. We'll come back to you shortly. Nimna and Lavalie, the executive director for IGR, they are this morning to talk about the latest Sierra poll survey reports. We then just don't pull later in the program. We go continue for get details for the reports. The program Good Morning Salon, they continue.
And we come over to the studio guest again, Charles Margai, when are the presidential candidate for the PMDC party. Na manifesto where he go pull na do just now. You get 12 pillar them. You talk about unity, uniting Sierra Leone, providing affordable and sustainable food security. You also talk about provide employment for Sierra Leoneans, addressing the health sector, education, the rule of law, road safety, empowerment, stabilizing the economy, devolution of power, stroke responsibility, children's welfare, international relations. Mr. Margai, when you watch this and other the two manifesto they don't come out, more or less similarities than they. So these are Sierra Leonean issue where we all go agree say now the problem and the way the country gets some of them. So how you plan for execute the 12 pillars there? So
thank you very much, Asma. I agree say similarities than they, but we don't comprehensively address issues when are burning issues on the minds of Sierra Leoneans. I mean, if you look at the SLPP manifesto and the APC manifesto, certain things that we will address now, not inside it. And we not only just give una say uniting Sierra Leoneans, we don't tell una how we intend for unite Sierra Leoneans, i.e., we introduce civic education at schools them and universities about people then we don't contribute in different ways towards the development of Sierra Leone, starting in primary schools. Relocating ministries such as mines, agriculture, and local government to the provinces. We say interaction will take place between officials of the respective ministries and the indigenes within the relocated areas. Introducing teaching of indigenous languages in primary and secondary schools, at least one indigenous language for be a core subject. So we not only give you saying that this we want for do for unite, we tell you the steps all they take for unite Sierra Leoneans and the difference between we manifesto and the other manifestos. For example, providing affordable and sustainable food security. We tell you say Sierra Leoneans must know the importance of agriculture in a developing nation. We build new roads and repair existing ones for enable farmers them for take them produce from the farm to the market. Government for provide seedlings for farmers and where possible, food for work. Particular crops then where they grow na salonya. We discourage Sierra Leoneans from importing them. And how we discourage Sierra Leoneans from importing them? Now for levy higher taxation. Improving upon the marine resources, for example, fishing, streams, and lobster farming. Improve upon the irrigation system, which is a must if agriculture is to live up to its expectation. Introduce cattle farming for produce, affordable meat, milk, cheese, etc., we go add to me and you with protein. We discourage importation of fruit juice because we can manufacture them things in Aya from either pineapple, mango, you name it. Provide employment for Sierra Leoneans. In the other manifestos, then they talk about providing employment for youths. Not all youths no more need employment. You, the mamina, the host, sometimes you not single parent. But elect you marry. Now your responsibility for care for the home and make sure say adequate food day for daddy, picking, etc., etc. So we deal with all that one day. Then addressing the health sector. Reviewing training of doctors, nurses, and health workers, and encouraging specialization based on merits, not to which party or which tribe you belong to. Review conditions of service across the board and making special provision for doctors and health workers where they go na the provinces. Because forget doctors and health workers, for relocate, not easy. Explore the possibility of modern medicine and traditional medicine working side by side. Build a state-of-the-art health infrastructure where go act as referral hospitals them. For we belle woman them, we mammy them, we picking them. Introduce free medical service for pregnant and lactating mothers and children under 6 years.
So, Mr. Margai,
Yeah.
since you don't come into active politics, and like how you said in states earlier, now from 2006 you set up the PMDC, 2006, right? PMDC come into existence.
Yeah.
So now you don't give alliance to different political parties, and we don't come into existence.
Yeah.
And assure you be don't follow waiting, don't they happen. Then same the way they give you alliance to them political party, then they.
Yeah.
Now we they see this 2023 3-page manifesto of the PMDC. You sure say all waiting in this document were also now the thing them we go address the issues of Sierra Leoneans as it is now.
Maybe I tell you, say, me are the most experienced politician alive in Sierra Leone. I can tell you, say, then one day na the burning issues waiting at the chest of Sierra Leoneans. And me, as the next president of this republic, I will tell you, say, within 6 months, we will don't begin address some of the issues. And yeah,
Why you starting
will
say you're
become
not the
very
next?
manifest.
Why you starting say you're not the next president of the republic?
Because I don't do an assessment like how my brother Lavalie do on the issue where he just addressed una. I don't do me assessment. You see, Southeast. Now the game get for play. That is.
Now you get it.
No, me not the claim for get any side. Then he say frog not the say I get the whole world, but we say he will get them, he will protect them. Southeast, SLPP, PMDC, they claim say na them base. Now I make in this coalition of 7 members, we APC, PMDC na members. We PMDC, we not put up candidates parliamentary. Now the whole of the north, we not put na the west. We see down to APC because we know say APC get dominance. So the effects really na the southeast. If you see we puncture SLPP, and indeed with the puncture then they game over.
Waiting at the magic where PMDC gets for do that puncturing, they take into consideration from where the campaign period they don't start, because of course you say you're not going to name on a membership strength in terms of numbers,
No.
but politics gets for do with numbers.
Yeah.
With all the numbers the way we don't see from the APC and the SLPP, for example, whose magic the PMDC get for play for you reach state
Not
house?
to magic. If you don't take time for tour the southeast, you go don't realize say SLPP get more problems than APC or any other political party. The grassroots then are SLPP. They are very dissatisfied with the leadership of SLPP.
When are that make you
No,
start
wait.
and say then go
You know why?
through his support for you?
Now then
How you know so where you dey na the na your party?
No. I was Minister of Internal Affairs and Local Government in this country in the Tijan Kaba administration. So I know how to gather intelligence. And they send me people there around and they talk to people there. When men they mind you go to the provinces, then they tell you say, men make back, plan make back. When you can't give me 1 bag rice and money at the eat time. But when 10 come for vote, I know who's at the go even. And do know what's in that what they call them mean. So I know what I'm talking about. It's not just conjecturing. I be based on reality on the ground.
All right,
It's also going to be very disappointed.
Election are very expensive
I know.
commodity, and
Telling me.
one go on for no usai the PMDC they pull money resources for fund the party, or you also go answer to this allegation where they say now the opposition APC they fund the
You really
PMDC.
expect me for answer that, Andy? I'm not going to answer that, Andy. It's like asking a general where they lead an army into war, how many troops you get, how many arms and ammunition you get. Me they tell you say not to APC they form we. We and APC then they in coalition. Now I make we cede the north and the western area. We know they get run off, we they come into power sharing arrangement. You know, say most countries, England, France, Germany, Nigeria, Kenya, now the trend that one day now, coalescing.
You almost go past 75 in age.
I'll be 78 on the 19th of August, by God in power.
All right, that's a very good big age. But you ever think say you go be president in Salone?
You dey look at the next president come June 24. Make I not go far away.
And if you don't win the election?
If I not win the election, this time my last attempt. Okay. If I not win now, I go take and say not to God in wish. And they retire quietly in Agbambato and go do serious agriculture.
And you go regret?
I have every confidence that I am the next president.
And so you go ever regret if you not ever be president?
No, I'm not going to regret at all. Okay. Now the will of God now get for prevail, not by force of arms or power.
And they bring you back to the relationship or coalition or waiting at the thing where they between the PMDC and the All People's Congress, because that the way you go now the All People's Congress, the headquarters, so many talks been there, but it's not clear because people there say Charles Francis Margai wants to be the next president after the June 24th elections, and there is a current flag bearer holder also of the All People's Congress APC party where this relationship they between us. So waiting exactly exists where you they throw support for them, but you say one gonna the same state house outside the one go.
Well, you see this coalition now. A very unique coalition in the sense that we coalesce, but at the same time we maintain with individualism as political parties. That day we are going to APC office, we been get a meeting of the coalition. But me and a man, I get respect for time as you all know. So I reached there about 30 minutes ahead of the scheduled time. When I reached there, I get for no say, Chief Sumanu Kapen, they declare for APC. Now I go sit down there and listen. But when I come on now, people then begin send them now the way they call say I don't join APC.
So how the coalition
join
work?
APC, waiting for ask me when you card, your membership card. Not so.
How na coalition they work?
Oh, we did one final step to State House. Make a put on that way there.
So that go be the head if una the final step to State House from the APC or from you?
You know what I say? I say if after the 24th June election, APC and SLPP qualify for runoff, all the other 6 parties they were in at the coalition, we all they threw weight behind Samura. Okay. If now we and SLPP, then they threw them weight behind me. If now me and Samura qualify, we're not going to run off. We receive the people that money in this country. We they do waiting happen in Ireland, waiting happen in Germany, waiting happen in Kenya. We they go into power sharing. In other words, Samura will take the first 2.5 years, then me take the next 2.5 years, or vice versa.
That's going to be a unique one. But let we look at the issue around you vote the last elections and where the results come out, reflect the votes where the PMDC people vote. Even there was this saying, say, even you self no vote or your household no vote for the PMDC.
Well, Asma, I'm glad you don't bring that up. One prayer where they pray day and night. Now, for me, Christian, I thought not die. And the man will be succeeded. So that they go get for account to the people of this country which time they vote them in go. So until they don't secure them, they go pull up. By God in power. That's as much as I can say for now.
So if you say next be only results attended?
Me just say there was dishonesty. And we know how much money crossed. But we left that one. The intimate lawyer, when the time reach, we'll not get the evidence. So
because we'll not go and let you suspend hanging and left listeners hanging. So you they take action against NEC or Dr. Christian at all?
No, I know they disclose that. What you know, I go tell you is that when I turn president, the people of this country then get a right for no, and then go no. We say we vote and go in 2007. We shall vote and go subsequently. That's all.
All right. Well, continue for the between at the program. We come over to his studio guest, Andrew Lavalie.
All right. So as we come over to Andrew, we don't begin explain the findings them of the Sarah poll on our forecast on just don't do for the June 2023 election on the 24th. And if you don't begin explain how the map turn like for waiting and don't fair not. Of course, it obvious say these are just forecasts where it might change, it might not change, but like Charles Francis Margai don't say, in already your projection that it go for win the election, and on your own forecast one, I do not even pick up or capture the PMDC party. So if you look at the reality, in terms of waiting on a bit think when I do this forecast, because from waiting you read, for example, when you talk about the Bo and you talk about Bombali, like now the political party them one the project say go forget seats and they now then side and they we don't hear you say now then strong areas them. So like it being obvious say of course now so you go get for come out.
So you know say Salon this BNT it all really become polarized, and because of that one then traditional parties then they don't come inside and stronghold better.
Before you continue, we say polarized, waiting and mean.
Okay, so you don't divide by bad one, and we don't divide like bad one. All man don't go whole in your corner. So we see like for example like we'll talk about Bombali. So like Bombali Potloko and Tonkolili. So key areas that will say get heavy Limba dominance, heavy team dominance, and key areas that will district that will get heavy Mende dominance. I'm not go surprised for let us see the performance of SLPP in 2018. This performance now they above them. We're not go surprised for let us see the performance of APC in 2018 in their areas there. The performance when they make in this election, it go pass them. The district then we really Uncle Charles they talk about game changers. The district they win are big game changers. We expect for see Kono, we expect for see Falaba, we expect for see Kwenadugu, we expect for see Cambia, and of course the election where every Sierra Leonean they pay attention to now the western area, the Freetown election, now every Sierra Leonean they pay attention to. So we actually see say in terms of local councils, with the project say, given what we don't see, with the project say SLPP will get about 11 to 13 local councils. With the project say APC will get about 9 to 11 local councils. So it's possible say at the end of the day they all two will get 11 to 11 out of the 22 councils, they all two will get 11 councils. But currently by the numbers, with the project say SLPP will get around 11 to 13 local councils, APC will get around 9 to 11 local councils. So their numbers can change. Now that make a week before before the election, we do another projection. The one way really interesting a woman, them. We don't campaign quite a lot. And I can say kudos to the current 12 to 13% who get in a parliament who go double them. But from the nomination, except something drastic happen, and we don't know what's going to happen. One of the reasons why they publish them poll here for say we might see this. Until past something drastic happen, we're not going to get 30%. So you see, say for example, a district such as Kailan, apart from Freetown, Kailan get to be the highest in terms of contribution of women in the next parliament. Freetown with the forecast say Freetown will get like around five women them in parliament, the next parliament. Kailan will get around 7 women then at the next parliament. In terms of women contribution, out of that 2060, we'd expect say the 60% of the public say this it can go above, it can go below. So what do they normally do in the forecast? We get what they call double blind. It's highly technical. So, like for example, if you go ask somebody in Bombali, he say whose party they vote for if the election be tomorrow, then the person say no, me not they talk. The person get right not for talk. If you know to a seasoned researcher, you go left that community there. But the next question they ask, okay, Lord, which party will you not go vote for at all? That person the party we need to vote for. Lord talks to the person say, me I need to vote for SLPP at all. Which you go assume say that whose party go assume say that person they go vote for. So we get a lot of approaches them where researchers and get what they call like proxy questions. So they can ask you one thing, now the same thing I can do as journalists then. One question they can ask you in 5 ways and then take one. We talk say this way and I'm more closer. So they try as best as possible for let we make sure say the result they very closer. And one of the things that in 2018 we'll do forecast. We'll do the 2018 forecast will not be published, but we actually use them for monitor the integrity of the result in 2018. So National Elections Watch, now the civil society we mandated for monitor elections. What they do in elections now for actually shape the content of waiting on democratic engagement in the elections process. So that make we push them here. For if somebody, law talks to you wake overnight, they hear you say SLPP get 4 seats in Falaba. Then forecast they really show say no, there should be a problem with NTND. So that make forecast around the world is seen for give integrity to the electoral process.
All right, Sandu Lavalie, continue for the way between at the studio. We'll come back to you shortly. The program Good Morning Salon, they continue. 8:39 at the time from the studio clock. We look at one power headlines to read them. Osai, the flag bearer for the All People's Congress, APC party, Dr. Samura Kamara, don't say you go pay attention to see through them for
Yes, followers, una listen, Charles Margai. Charles Margai say, in the next president. Oh, okay. By the way, APC, they talk about national cohesion, but the executive, they not encourage anybody.
People they come, they say no. Kaila who they come, they say no. Usoko they come, they say no. When I do they come, they say no. Walaba they come, they say no. Sokolili they come, they say no. Now wait till they want. Kamakuero, behind flag bearer. Kamakuero, party chairman. Kamakuero, and in deputy. Kamakuero, secretary general. Kamakuero, and in deputy. Kamakuero, with the chief whip. Kamakuero, financial secretary. Kamakuero, Papa insists the law. Kamakuero, side and combo. Kamakuero, what's the problem? Kamakuero, what's the shame? Kamakuero, now it's back. We do this and me not understand. Fumble them, make we land. Inshallah, we don't wash hand. This time around, don't know them plan. Then say no. Gambia they come. Then say no. Want they come. Then say no. Oyamba they come. Then say no. Kamakuero, behind flag bearer. Kamakuero, party chairman. Kamakuero, and in deputy. Kamakuero, secretary general. Kamakuero, and in deputy. Kamakuero, with the chief whip. Kamakuero, financial secretary. Kamakuero, Papa insists the law. Kamakuero, side and combo. Kamakuero, what's the problem? Kamakuero, what's the shame? Kamakuero. We don't know them plan. Them go land, they wire them go land. Inclusiveness no they not them blood. Them just pick themselves from one side. Sally one side. Go cut the story short. We go give them uppercut. Uppercut for make all thing done. Uppercut, we go give them uppercut. Uppercut for make all thing done. Kamakuero, behind flag bearer. Kamakuero, party chairman. Kamakuero, and in deputy. Kamakuero, secretary general. Kamakuero, and in deputy. Kamakuero, with the chief whip. Kamakuero, financial secretary. Kamakuero, Papa insists the law. Kamakuero, side and combo.